commands quickly. We can finish that. Then we'll go for group by. Okay, in the select queries, right? Okay. So I'll be using this one only. I think because of the Oracle installation, my system has gone a lot slow. I don't know. I have to get it checked. But anyways, we have a functioning database here. I shared this link with you yesterday also, right? We have a functioning database here, so we can use this. So let's see, select from customer. Okay. So this is how the customer's table looks like. It has got customer ID, name, contact name, address, city, postal code, country. Now insert, you're pretty clear, right? You have to, the way you can insert, there are 2, 3 ways of inserting values, right? So you're pretty clear about it, right? Yes? Okay. There is one more way of insert, which I will show you now, which uses SQL query to insert. Okay? Insert into customers. What we usually were doing is we were giving values and then we were giving the actual values, right? Either assigning respective columns to respective values and all that. So what we can do is we can insert. Okay, did I tell you about the dual table yesterday? The dual table. Okay, okay. So now dual is a dual. Sorry, du. Dual is a pseudo table. I'll put it in the notes. Okay, what's the date today? 8. Dual table. Dual table. This is an Oracle provided pseudo table which has one row and one symbol. This is very useful for generating values. Okay, I'll tell you. I mean, this is just a. See, I'm not giving you any bookish definitions. So for that, if you want, you can refer some online content for bookish definitions. This is what I am giving all these descriptions, right? These are all very relevant and very natural descriptions of what I'm suggesting here. So what is a dual table? Just let's say if you want to do, if you want to say, if you want to perform a simple addition, right? How much is 55 plus 55? How will you get it? You don't have calculator or anything. So what you will do is, okay, this this one doesn't have dual. Okay, this is SQL Server. That's fine. Anyways, fine. You can try this in your system. Okay, just do any simple mathematical function. or you just have to, print your name. Okay. So just try these ones. Okay. I'll just put in few queries. Anything else? Something like all these things you can do. It will give you the value. So you will get the value as the result set. So dual is a table which has, dual is a pseudo table which is Oracle provided itself. You're not going to create the table dual, and it can store a value, one value only. Okay. So basically it is one row, one column, just one value only, and it is basically used for displaying data, or using or creating data which we can use elsewhere. So since this is SQL Server, it is probably that's why this doesn't have the dual. In SQL Server also there is something which is similar to dual. I forget that. Or maybe it's not there. You were asking in the initial classes, right? What are the differences? So this is one of the differences. Dual table is there in Oracle, but not in SQL Server. Okay. Anyways, let's go back. I mean, it's a very small thing. Don't think too much about this dual table. Only one value. It'll only show one value. Okay. So if you say select A, comma B, 1, comma 2, comma 3 from dual, let me know what it shows. You try this. Okay. No, no, you can check in your practice time. Okay. Let's continue with already we've lost some time. So we were talking about DML statements. Insert, you are pretty clear about, right? Let's go to update. So, so the syntax, the basic syntax for update is update table name, set column name. So which column you want to update? Say you want to update this one, postal code equals to value 1777, where customer ID equals to 1. So one row affected, right? Now we'll check the table again. So what did I miss here? After update, what should you do all the time? Okay. Okay, you know that, right? Commit. It only processes one. Okay, so the postal code has been updated, right? Okay, so I'll put it in the notes. Update statement structure. So update statement has this following structure: update, table name, okay, set, column name, equals to value where is your filter criteria, right? So there. So if we don't, so there's a question for you, Suresh. If we, yeah, if we don't put anything here, where? So our basic update statement, update customers. So this is our customer table, right? I will just show you the whole table. So this has got 91 records. Okay. What I will do is I will just say update customers set postal code equals to, what will happen? What if this is my command, what will happen? So will it process? And if it processes, what will it do? So all in the postal code column, right? All the data for all the record for all the 91 records. So yes, so that's why you want the filter criteria, right? That's why you want a where clause in it. Correct. Okay, so this is your basic update statement. Okay, so let me show you how rollback works. You know about commit, right? So say I run this statement. So 91 rows are affected. Now I have not committed it yet. Okay. Is that customers? So you will have the say this postal code and all the 91. But this is so say this is a mistake. I did it by mistake, right? So what should I do? I should just roll it back. Okay, it doesn't work. Okay, it doesn't work for some weird reason here. But that's how rollback works. So in case if the rollback works, I mean, in case you do the rollback, so all the data will show before your, I mean, as it was before your update statement. Okay. So basically, what I wanted to say is any DML statement should be either committed or rolled back explicitly. Otherwise, once the session gets over, it will not be effective. Okay, so say you ran an update statement for the postal codes, and you in the same session you are working and you use that in your code elsewhere and everything. But then your session gets over, right? Your day's work is over. You shut your session down. You haven't yet committed it. That means, or maybe the database session it gets refreshed or something like that. That means that update statement is lost. The data, the actual data will still be how it was before update. Okay. Understood? Okay. Now update is simple. There are more complicated ways of update and what I'm going to tell you, insert, update, and delete also, where we use select clauses, right? So we will get to that once we get a basic mastery on the select clauses itself. Then we can go for that. For now, you just uh, use the basic DML. So we did insert, we did update. Now let's do delete. So let's take another table. Maybe we'll use the same table. This is our table, customer table. Say I want to delete a single data. So delete also, the syntax is similar to the update statement. Delete. Hmm, tell me. Yeah, that's what. Only if you roll it back, you'll get the previous values. Okay. For some reason in this editor it is not working. That's what I mentioned, right? Since you have not committed it, if you have committed the data, you will not get the earlier data. Okay. Yes, exactly. That's right. You cannot commit once and then roll it back. It doesn't work that way. Okay. So you either commit it or roll it back. So once you commit it, so the update is done. You will not get the earlier data. There is a way of getting the earlier data also. That is some higher, a higher level concept of flashback queries and all that. Let's not get into that right now. Okay. So a rollback issued after commit is useless. It doesn't work. Okay. If someone asks you that. Okay, now let's talk about delete statement. So delete, as I was saying, the format of delete statement is also the same thing. Delete from table name, delete from table name where your filter criteria. Okay. So for example, I can give you the example for update, right? I'll just put it set postal code. It's just for your reference. Update. Now go to delete. Delete from customers where, say I want to delete this guy. Okay. So I'll delete customer ID 9 where customer ID equals to 9. Something. What was wrong here? What's wrong here? delete from. I did not mention the. Hello. Okay, this is not working. Maybe refresh. Delete from customers. So now rows affected is 1. That means we will not be having that customer ID to data in the table anymore. So that record is gone. Okay. So if we don't have a, okay, if we don't have a filter criteria, we can just write delete from customers, right? If we write delete from customers, it will delete the all the records in the table. Okay. Okay. So here there is one very basic, I think I covered it earlier also, difference between, this is a very basic. Mhm. Tell me. Yeah. You deleted your table. Hmm. See, I think you mean drop, right? Okay. That's what. It is a little confusing at the beginning. I will just write it down here. Okay. So there are three commands, right? One is truncate, one is delete, one is drop. What are the differences? Truncate is a DDL statement. Truncate, what it does is removes all the records from the table. Okay. Auto committed can't be rolled back, yet the table definition, that is columns, constraints, indexes, etc., will be present. Okay. So that is about truncate. Next, let's go to delete. Okay. This is a very common interview question. So whenever you go for any Oracle interview, they'll ask you this question. Okay. Where should you use truncate and where should you use delete? Delete. Delete is a DML statement. Uh, it removes records according to the filter criteria that can be rolled back or committed. Drop, on the other hand, is a DDL command, DDL statement, which removes everything, the data and the structure of the table. Okay. So once you drop a table, you cannot revive it back. There are ways of reviving it back, but we cannot do it as developers. We cannot do it. DBA can do it. Okay. So that comes under database administration. For our as a programmer, as a SQL or PLSQL programmer, you should remember that when you drop a table, if you have to completely remove a table, you drop the table. If you have to in one go, if you have to empty the table, all the data, you go for truncate. But if you have to selectively remove some records in a table, you have to go for delete. Okay. Okay. But this this course is not for DBA. I'll try to put in some information about DBA also. Okay. But let's continue as yeah. So DBA is basically some higher concepts and some basic concepts also. What are okay? Then once we are through with all these SQL queries and probably PLSQL, we can discuss about the database architecture also. Okay. Yeah. So truncate delete drop is covered now, right? So delete also is your simple. I will give. There is one more. Uh, there's one more basic difference between DDL statement and DML statement. Okay. So since you mentioned DBA, right, I'll just put a note on that also here so that you can refer to it later. Are you there? Hello. Yeah. So another difference between a DDL statement and a DML statement is the concept of logging for DML statement. Okay. So what does this mean? Okay. So this is an advanced concept, but yeah, we can sort of explain this in basic words also. So for any DDL, so here we have a truncate, which is a DDL statement. Here we have a delete, which is a DDL statement, right? So we can either write truncate. What is that table name? Truncate customers. We can write. Okay, we can write the statement. Say truncate table customers. We can also write delete from customers. So what these two statements will do is the same thing, right? Truncate table customers will also empty all the data, remove all the data from the table. Delete from customers will also remove all the data from table. Yet, exactly one by one it will do. So this is faster. This will be comparatively slower. Why? Because for every DML, Yeah, why does it do one by one? Because for every DML statement, Oracle, no, there are no filtering conditions here, right? We are just putting delete from customers. So filtering conditions will selectively delete data, right? If there is no filtering condition also, it will delete all the data here, but still it will be slow. Why? Because will, Oracle does maintain internal logs for all the DML activities. Okay. No logging done for DDL statements. Trunket being a DDL statement, there will be no logging. You understand logging, right? So you were saying, right? If I am doing an update or a delete or a insert by mistake, and still I'm committing it also. Okay. How can I, if later on I realize that I have done a mistake, how can I get the data, get the earlier data, get the table to its earlier state? It can be done by the DBA. Why? Because Oracle maintains internal logs for all the DML activities. That means Oracle does maintain that, okay, this is the DML statement. What was the state of the data before this DML statement? And what was the state of data after this DML? That is stored in Oracle. Okay. So for every DML activity, insert, update, delete, a logging is parallelly executed by Oracle. Hence, it is comparatively slower than a DDL statement. Got this concept? Good. So that completes our DDL and DML statements. So let's go to grouping in SQL queries. Okay. So what all we did, what all we learned about SQL queries yesterday, we learned about all these clauses, right? These four clauses we learned. There is a select clause, which basically is the column names. If we put star here, that means it'll show all the columns. Okay. There is a from clause, which is basically your table name. So in SQL query, you can fetch data from many, I mean, in one SQL query also, you can fetch data from more than one table. So you can put all the table names here. In where clause, you put your filter criteria and you use operators like these ones, and, or, like, not like, in, not in, exist, not exist, and there are many more also. And in your order by clause, you do the sorting criteria. By default, it is ascending. If you want to put it descending, then you have to append DESC. Next, let's come to group by and having. Okay. So for this, we need to check the data. Then only you will be able to understand. Okay, just give me 2 seconds. Okay. Are you there? Okay. So if you can see the data here, we have a column called city. Okay. So there might be many customers living in the same city, right? Let's enforce. I think there must be, right? Let me see how many are there in Berlin. So let's start from customers where city. Berlin. Okay, only one. Okay, fine. No problem. See, I will tell you a practical question, right? So I have this table. Okay. What I want is I want to get as my result set all the city names and how many customers are there in each of the city name. The count of customers in each of the city. Did you understand the question? Hello? Okay. So this is your data. You can see the data, right? So there is a city column for every customer. So my requirement is from this table itself, I want to fetch data, city-wise data, and I want to know how many customers are there in every city. Like my result set will have city name and the count of number of customers in that name. Understood the question? So, yeah. How do we do that? So in such a case, yes, in such a case, grouping by city. Yes. So this is one of the having we'll get to having later. Having is a filter criteria for the grouping. Okay. Here we will not need any having because select city count of city as first count from customers group no group by city. So what it will show me? It shows alphabetically the name of the cities and how many customers reside in those cities, right? So there is somewhere 2, there is 6, there is 3, there is 4, so on. Okay. So total number of records I get is 69. In our original table, we had 91 records, right? But the total number of distinct cities is 69. Okay. Let's go a little further than this. Okay. Let's show you the whole thing. Now I want to show the the city. I want the name of the city which has the maximum customers from this table. Okay. Let me just give you a little idea about the max function. Like count is a function, then these are the commonly used functions. Count, you understand count, right? We just saw. Similarly, there is max. Why this didn't work? Can you tell me? It still doesn't work. Why? Yes. How many of you are there? Somebody did prompt this. Okay, fine. No issues. So this did work, right? Okay. Yeah. Okay. So what we are looking for is we just found out let's city count of city. Let's customers. Okay. Now we have Buenos Aires as 3 count, 4 count for Mexico. There was one with 6. So I want to print this one, London 6. So my result set should be London 6. Why? Because it is the maximum, yeah, maximum maximum number of customers are there in this city. So can I give that to you as a, this will be a good, practice exercise. If you are not able to complete this, I'll be helping you tomorrow. Okay? Yeah. So the question is, result set should have city name and count of customers where the count of customers, the count is the max count for all the cities. Understood? So hint is having clause. Having clause you can use. I will help you with with another example in having clause. Let's check. Again. Say, okay, there are a couple of things that I want to mention about group. Okay, group by. Okay, these are basic. All the grouping columns should be mentioned in the select clause. And vice versa. Aggregate functions like count, max, min, etc. can be used in the select clause. So do you understand this sentence? All the grouping columns should be mentioned in the select clause and vice versa. Otherwise, the query will not work. What it means is, if I am grouping by city, I should have city in the select clause. I can have multiple groupings, right? I can group by city and postal code. So I'll have to have both of them in my group by clause. Understood? If I write here customer ID, this will not work. Okay? Because we are not putting this column name in our group by. So how many ever groupings you want to have for a table or result set, you should put all the column names here in the select clause. That's how group by works. Okay? This is a common mistake that people do. Another point here is we can still use where clause while using grouping, group by, and having. So if in case we require, we can still use the where clause, like what we did is, okay, select city, count of city, customer ID. We are counting customers, right? Customer ID as count from customers. We want to exclude the cities which have only one customer. So we can put a where clause here where okay. In this case, we will use group having group by city having count not equal to 1. Customer ID not equal to. You know the not equal to signs in Oracle? You can use this as not equal to, or you can use this. Okay? Where is that exclamation? Huh? This also you can use. Okay? The timing we'll use this. So it will only give us 10 records. Now we are not getting any of the cities which have only one customer. So this is one example of use of having. Okay, I'll just put it there. Put it under examples. We want a further filter criteria here. Let's go back to our table. Let's start from customers. Are you able to understand the difference between? Okay, I'll show you. Okay. Select. Now I want the data only for the country Germany. Are you there? So I want the same data, but only for the German cities. Okay. Count customer ID as cust count from customers where country equals to Germany. What will this give? Yeah. City and cust count it is coming. Is it only one? Okay, there maybe it is just since there is only one city, only one German city, it we didn't need to group this. Okay, if we group by city also, it will give you the same data. Okay, see, that's the difference. There are, did you see the difference? Yeah, so earlier it was only giving the last updated city name, and then it was counting, it was putting the sum of this count into one. So it was giving us incorrect data. Okay. Yet, okay. See, I will go one by one. Let's just copy this. Just trying to, explain the difference where to use having and where to use the where clause. Okay. Okay. Let's pay attention here. Okay. Select start from customers. Select star from customers. Now you have city, you have country, you have customer ID. Okay. We are first, what we are looking for. See, in Germany itself, there is Berlin. Germany itself, there is Mannheim and some other cities also. Germany, München, all these cities are there, right? So from this table, I want a city-wise count of customers, but only for the country value of Germany. That means only the German cities right now. Okay. So if I say select star from customers where country equals to Germany, This is how we have not done any count or anything. Now it is showing me customer records, right? I will modify this to select city. So it is giving me all the 11 German city names which are existing in the table. Okay. Now I put count of, no, we are not after customer ID. Count of customer ID as cust count. This is just an alias name. This is called an alias name. I think I mentioned yesterday, right? We can use as. So this is an alias name, your own name that you can give to a column in a result. Yeah. Now this is a erratic output, right? So what it shows is the cust count. It will give you correct. It will give you all the no. It is not even giving the cust count correct. It is only giving you the number of cities it is giving, right? But what we are after city-wise data of customer count, not the city count. Okay, correct. And for country value equals to Germany. That's why we have to do group by city. Now it will give you all the 11 records with city-wise distribution. Aachen has one, Berlin has one, Brandenburg has one, so on. Okay. Yes. So you might be thinking, instead of where country equals to Germany, can I use having country equals to Germany? We will not have this. Let's check. Okay. So that also will work. So here, where clause and group by clause are whichever want you. Having clause is sort of anyone you can pick and choose. You can do your order by here also. Order by city. Yeah, tell me. Hmm. Because we didn't group the data, right? We were we were searching. What did we do from customers? This much only, right? This one, right? Why it is giving city Berlin? Because the cust count is calculated correctly 90. Here we haven't put anything. Berlin is the topmost record right now. Okay, if you search select star from customers, it will give you the first record will have Berlin as its city value. Star, right? Berlin. That's why it is just showing the top value, the first fetched value it is showing. Okay, that's how it works. If I delete this record, then it will show Mexico DF. Yeah. Okay. So you understood a bit of grouping, right? Group by having. So create a you know sample table like this. The same table, populate it with all your data. Okay, and then my Don't take any reference from any of this online content. Okay, try to do it yourself first. If at all there is any issues, you let me know. Yes, tomorrow I will correct it. So we have to find out, like here. So select star from customers, not star. My question is, okay, my select city from customers, group by city, max. I'm just taking the count. I have given this query to you already. Custom ID, order by, give it an alias as count, order by count. So London is the city which has the maximum number of customers, right? So my question is, write a query to fetch the city name along with the customer count where the city holds the maximum number of. Just a second, I'm getting a call. Okay, anyways. So can you try that? Okay. Okay. So any doubts in today's whatever things that we covered? The concept of dual table. Yeah. DML, DDL, differences, various differences between DML and DDL. Why is a DML statement slower than a DDL? Differences between truncate, delete, and drop. Grouping in SQL queries. Yesterday we did, discover all these basic SQL clauses. Grouping in SQL queries. Having, use of where, and all this. So I will just. We'll stop today here. Okay. Since there was some issues with my laptop. So tomorrow's agenda will be further complexities in group by, use of subqueries. We will use subqueries tomorrow, and joining tables. These three we will cover tomorrow. Okay. Okay then. I had shared with you, right? See, I am not going as per syllabus. I am going as per I feel it is the correct way to proceed. Once we have covered, we will check the syllabus together, what all is left, and then we can cover that. Okay. As per the syllabus, we have already covered 2, 3 chapters already. Out of their 9, 10 chapters, we have already covered 2, 3. Okay. Okay, I had shared. Let me see. Okay, I'll share it again. I had shared with you. I'll share it again. Okay. Thank you.